Hello everybody on YouTube. It's Zeldin here, the Magician Master 100, known as the Master of Spellcasters. I got my friend here, and he took first place with Burning Abyss.
Alright, so we all know what Burning Abyss does, so let's just get into it. Alright, standard stuff, triple Seer, triple Graph, triple Scarm. Alright, double Farfa. This card is amazing. Banishment, nothing else to say about it. Alright, double Cal. Cal, he's amazing. Won me a lot of games, returned a lot of bad back row of my opponents. Alright, double Libic, amazing card. This card is just, I'll explain why I love it later. Alright, Alec, this card here, amazing. You put it with Acid Golem, negate Acid Golem, then you special summon like crazy, and now you got a 3000 beat stick. Alright, Kog'Maw. Now, this card here really didn't see much play today. It's good, I did it just so I could get rid of my good and evils, but honestly, I'm going to take them out once the new set comes out. So, I mean, I wouldn't use them. Alright, now, I do one Rubik. A lot of people will do more than one Rubik, but I find it gets too cloggy for my play style. So, I mean, again, a lot of people are doing 2 to 3. I find that 1 is perfectly fine. I never actually recycle them, and I almost never go into Virgil, just because of the fact of my play style.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. Get these out of the way. Alright, one BLS, obvious.
Obviously they're non-Burning Abyss.
Yeah. One Tour Guide.
Okay.
If you're not running Tour Guide, don't bother running the deck. Triple Mathematician.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Everyone's favorite magician.
So, this is what
second.
makes Libic amazing, right?
Or third.
So, a lot of times I was getting first turn hands where I would have Mathematician and just any random Burning Abyss monster in my hand. You summon the Mathematician, get rid of the Libic to summon a Burning Abyss from hand to go into Dante on first turn. So essentially it's like having another Tour Guide. Not the exact same, but it pretty much does the same thing in the end.
Kind of reminds me what most Jadal players do, or what I do.
So that's the monster lineup right there. Okay?
Okay.
Alright, now into Spell and Trap card lineup. For spells, one Raigeki,
Okay.
one Allure of Darkness, 2 Good and Evil in the Burning Abyss. Okay, when the new set comes out, these are getting dropped completely. I find that these are just too situational. I only use them maybe once or twice in the entire tournament. So I'm going to be dropping these for the new Fusion spell card that's coming out, even if I don't put in the new Dante.
I noticed that you haven't shown us your Ritual Monster. Is it in your side deck?
I don't run the Ritual Monster. Okay, so Good and Evil, you send it to the grave with the effect of Kog'Maw, right?
Okay.
Because Kog'Maw, when he gets killed, sends one Burning Abyss spell or trap card from the deck to the graveyard.
Okay.
So you'll send this to the graveyard, or you'll send one of your Fire Lakes so that you can search it with Dante later. But pretty much this is just so that I can banish it and discard, pop an effect, and search my deck for, let's say I need a Scarm at the time, so I search for the Scarm. Yeah. So that's the explanation on that. Okay. To continue, double MST,
Okay.
double enemy controller.
Okay.
So this card is amazing. Change position of your opponent's monsters, you really never use that. What you're using this for is to tribute one of your Burning Abyss monsters to get the effect and then take control of one of their monsters. That way it doesn't harm you that turn, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times, whenever I found something that I just couldn't handle at the time, I would use this. Like when I faced off against Yosenju's, I was tributing my Burning Abyss monsters just so I could take control of the Yosenju's, and that way they couldn't just keep spamming against me in the end. So what I did was, after they returned my stuff, is on their targeting of return, I would tribute, take control, and they couldn't use it anymore. So this card here put in a lot of work as well. Double Mass Change 2.
Mass Change 2, eh?
Yes. Okay, so Mass Change 2, if you don't know what this does, you can pretty much use this to summon out Dark Law in any deck that has dark monsters, right? And the good thing about this is you discard in order to activate it. So all your Burning Abyss monsters are going to activate, including the one that you just sent to the graveyard to bring out Dark Law. Okay?
I wouldn't be surprised if Shadows would start using it.
I've seen a couple of Shaddoll decks use it. For anyone who runs Shaddolls, I suggest you use at least one of them. Okay? Alright, now to the trap cards. One Karma Cut.
Okay.
Double Fire Lake. Now the reason why I'm not using 3 Fire Lakes is because with the way the format is, since we don't have triple Tour Guide, it just clogs up if we have 3 of them. Double Phoenix Wing Blast. And double Breakthrough Skill.
Ah,
Okay?
yes.
So I know a lot of people like to run a lot of traps. I personally think this deck does better with very minimal trap cards. Just because, again, the way I play is different from what other people play.
Yeah, everyone has their own playstyle.
Yeah. All right, let's go into the extra. Double Dante. Don't need triple Dante. There's no point of that. Double Dark Law. This guy puts in so much work. He's one of the MVPs, in my opinion, of this entire band list. One Virgil. Standard.
Right. Yeah.
I know a lot of people are using 2, but I'll show you my reasoning for 1.
Okay.
So I was talking about Libic earlier, right?
Yes.
Blackwing Nathum.
A Blackwing.
Okay. So what I like to do is when I get the chance and I have a Rubik in hand and Virgil's dead, or my opponent has very little life points, I will use the Libic to summon the Rubik and negate its effect so that I can sink into this guy here and just do the burn damage with him. Not to mention, he also decreases attack. Overall, he's just an amazing card. He's, in my opinion, the only Blackwing monster that's worth it these days. And he's been putting in a lot of work. Now, once the new Dante Fusion comes out, I might take him out. I'm not sure, though.
It's up to you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's stopping you.
Alright, Double Downer Magician. Amazing card.
Yeah.
Used on top of your dead Dantes.
Love Downer Magician.
Acid Golem.
An Acid Golem. I haven't seen that in a while.
Nightmare Shark.
That's pretty
Attack
obvious.
directly. Double Alucard. Okay, a lot of people are running one Alucard, but with the way people play at our locals, a lot of people like to have heavy back row. So double Alucard is amazing against my locals. But most places I would say just use one. One Leviair. This card almost never sees play, unless my opponent is playing a deck in which they're banishing their own cards and I want to use their cards against them. This almost never sees play. It didn't see play at all today. The last time it actually saw play was maybe 2 weeks ago. So,
I might play Leviair as well, if I find one.
MechQuip Engineer. This card here won me the last one. I was going up against Yosenjus, and they were just spamming.
That's Yosenjus for you.
My opponent had about 2,000 life points when I summoned it, and I summoned him, used his effect during my opponent's turn so that he would go to defense and protect. Then during my turn, attacked for the 18. He did it again. I was like, what are you doing? He couldn't overlay either, and then attacked for gain.
Wow.
Right there, that's amazing. Not to mention I had a Farfa equipped onto it, and Farfa just banished one of his cards as well for the turn, and he had...
You said your opponent had 2,000. How can you
18.
Okay.
And then 18.
Okay, then so
they
do it
had
twice.
200 left, yeah. So, one turn, you know,
Yeah.
summoned him, and then I ended turn. They made their hurt dirt moves. I put them to defense, attacked, and then with the next material, defense, then attack.
Alright then.
Yep. And my last card for my extra, wind up Zen Mains. Okay, so Zen Mains, he's good. Not as good as he used to be. He's not as good as back when we had Dino Rabbit format, that's for sure. But he's still putting in a lot of work today. Honestly, some days I want to take him out, some days I just want to leave him in. But his effect is just too good to take him out. If I take him out, it would be for Fortune Tune. But honestly, I think his destruction effect makes him worth it.
Alright then. So, is there any strengths or weaknesses to the deck?
The biggest weakness for the deck, in my opinion, is when it comes to cards that banish, right? So that's why I set up my side deck the way that I did. Okay. One of the big things is decks that search a lot and banish. So the way I set up my side deck was pretty much to stop that. So here's my side.
Okay.
Thunder King Ryo. Obvious card, amazing card. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah.
Psyblocker. Okay, so this is an interesting choice. Psyblocker, he's pretty cool. You declare a card name, and then cards with that name can't activate their effects until the end of my opponent's next turn. So, like, if my opponent has a Vanity's Emptiness and I have no other way to get out of it, he's good for that. Or my opponent has a El Shaddai Winda or a Construct, for example, I can use his effect and target Construct or Winda, and their effects are negated, and then I can go over them with Acid Golem or something like that. Okay, next is One Mistake. I'm going to bump this up to 3 eventually. Only own 1 right now, but I don't know what it is with me, but I was drawing this thing like crazy. So, Triple Royal Decree.
Oh yes, gotta have the
Okay.
decree.
Everybody loves trap cards. This is a trap-heavy format. So you got to use the triple decree.
Note to self: find one more triple.
Yeah.
Wait, one more decree. Yeah, thank you.
1 Book of Moon, okay. 2 Book of Eclipse. Okay, Book of Eclipse, anti-Necroz, anti a lot of things, right? And there have been a few times. There was one game where I faced off against Malefics, which was a very strange match for me, right? I was not expecting it. But these here put in a lot of work. I would just flip their Malefic face down, and then it would flip back up. And then I would go into my BLS and banish their Malefic Cyber and, their big hitters. But surprisingly puts in a lot of good work against things other than Necroz, but main reason is for Necroz. Because this stops the Djinn lock, it stops a lot of their plays. So.
Alright then.
Alright. Now, one more MST.
Except it's Ghost Rare.
Yeah. Triple Twister. Alright. Again, for those decks that are just very heavy with traps and spells, these are very good against, forgot their names again. Yosenjus, my bad. Okay, so the reason why these are good against Yosenjus is because of the fact that Yosenju's main deck Macros, main deck D-Fissure, and they also main deck Tenkis. As you know, Tenki, when it's activated, has to remain on the field. If you chain with an MST or a Twister and destroy it, they don't get the search. So that's why that's good there. It's good against opponents that play cards like Mistake, for example, how I use Mistake. This is good against the Mistakes. This is good against a lot of options.
Stellar Knights with Call.
And then 2 Soul Takers. Alright, so Soul Taker is amazing. I've faced a lot of Yang Zings, right? Now, Soul Taker will make Yang Zings miss their timing because of the way that they activate. The first thing that happens is the monster is destroyed. Now, Yang Zing's effects activate after they're destroyed. However, because it increases the opponent's life points, they miss the timing because the last thing to happen was an increase in life points.
Ah.
So, this card was really big when Sangan saw a lot of play.
And when Chaos Dragons were
Yep.
when Light Pulsar was all over the place.
Exactly. It stops like Pulsar. It stops just way too many things. Now, some things like the Burning Abyss cards, the Burning Abyss cards won't miss timing against this, so you're never going to use this against them. Because really, all you're doing is you're giving them a plus. But this makes a lot of stuff miss timing. It's also good. Let's say my opponent's running a deck in which I just have no other options to destroy their high attack or high effect monsters. It's a very good option. All right.
As he asked, can Shaddolls miss timing on it?
Depends on the Shaddol. Because Winda. So let's see. Does Winda say if, can, or when?
I think it says when this card is sent to the graveyard.
Okay, so when this card is sent to the graveyard, like all the Burning Abyss.
Yep.
How they say. Okay, so let me grab a Burning Abyss. Okay. So, for example, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one card on the field and banish it. The keyword is if.
Okay, so basically it depends on the keyword.
Yes.
Alright then.
So pretty much if it says if, it won't miss timing. When it says end, it's got to be a certain way before it misses timing.
Yes, correct.
Or when?
Yeah, exactly.
Depending on the words that are on it will determine whether it misses timing or not.
Okay then.
Because like Sangan, when this card is sent to the graveyard, Sangan misses timing because it's on the moment that it hits the graveyard that it activates.
Yeah.
And because the last thing to happen was the increase of life points, anything that says when misses the timing.
Alright then. So, yeah. So, is there any, like you said, weaknesses to that? You were,
One of the big things about the deck is that with every single Burning Abyss deck is going to see this problem, and it's because of the fact that we only have the one tour guide right now. That one tour guide slows us down a lot. Any deck that can outpace us, if we don't have the right field setup, we're done. You never want to draw all monsters, that's for sure. That's happened to me before, and you're going to lose if you draw all monsters. Because even if you can go into those Dantes or into those protections, you really do need at least one of your spell or trap cards.
do you have any strengths to the deck?
The strength to the deck really is, for the most part, you have options for everything. You really do.
Alright then.
Burning Abyss, just in general, is a very versatile deck. Most of the effects can be used against every single kind of deck.
Do you have anything to say to the haters? Or are you going to comment on this video?
You know, if you're gonna hate, you hate. Doesn't matter to me.
Alright then.
I won my games, that's all that matters.
Alright then, and of course you took first anyway.
Yep.
So, yeah, thanks for being part of the video.
Yeah, no problem.